Good morning everyone. Well, it may not be morning when you're looking at this, but I'm recording it in the morning. Just wanted to talk about a couple of things that I've seen in the news, both yesterday actually, which are a bit disconcerting. I know that price rises haven't stopped, but they have slowed up, so prices are still going up, but not at the rate they were before. But I've noticed a couple of things. One is that petrol in my local area has started to shoot up again. I spotted this yesterday in my local Sainsbury's. Just a couple of weeks ago, this price was 136 point something, and now look at it, it's 145. That's a concern if fuel is going up again. I know we've had a couple of little rises and then it's gone back down again. But I was also reading in the newspaper. You need to be careful about the media because they do like to make you panic. So it may well be that this will come down again. It could just be fluctuations. But it's a pain because it's just one more thing to worry about, isn't it? If you need your car, if you need your vehicle to get around, if you're tied to that, then you have no choice but to pay this. My prices locally are pretty good, but when I go down south to my parents, you can see the massive difference. It's just ridiculous. The other thing that is worrying, and I'm just going to use my laptop here to refer to the headlines, which I will put here. So this is the first headline, which is self-explanatory. They're looking at putting the standing charges up. The standing charges on your gas and electric, certainly in my household, are the biggest bill I have. I don't use much gas and electric, so they found a different way to screw me over, which is just to keep the standing charges high, and that's the bit that you can't avoid paying for. So even if you use a very tiny amount of energy, most of the money you spend is going in standing charges. Ofgem's recently announced that firms can raise standing charges from 82p a day to 83p a day from October the 1st. And I had read not so long ago that they expect energy prices to rise towards the end of the year, and then they will go down again in spring. Isn't it ironic that the prices go up in winter when you're using more, and they come down again when you're using less? It's just a way for energy companies to make money out of us, because when it hits winter you have no choice but to use your lights more because the day's drawing in. You have no choice to put your heating on more because you might die from the cold. If it's like last year where we had -8, it's going to be cold, and I can only pray for a mild winter, which means I don't have to put my heating on. So this kind of headline really bugs me because you have no control over what you're spending. They'll take that from you either way. Now, my energy's recently gone up anyway because I wasn't aware that for the last, I think, year, I've been getting a discounted unit rate from my energy provider, who is Outfox the Market, and that recently came to an end. And so despite me using less energy, it's now costing me more anyway. And I'm not entirely sure how much that discount was, but it has made a huge difference. I'm paying £6 or £7 a month more now for using no energy. I don't have my heating on. I use 2 lights in the house. I only use my gas hob for cooking, and I'll only use the oven when I'm cooking multiple things at once. So my energy usage is very low for an average household, and yet now I'm paying more. So now it's going to go up again in a few months' time, and that just drives me insane. The other headline, which I'm just going to show you here, is that the energy price cap is likely to change as well. So we're looking at an 8% rise in the price cap. Which starts on the 1st of January, so right at the height of winter, when you need as much energy as you can to get through the winter. And it's just a way to make money. I cannot believe that they happen to pick the winter. I don't know why they do this. It really frustrates me. Are they doing this to put people off using energy so that we don't use so much? Are they penalising people for needing their heating? Because we just won't use our heating and then people are going to die. People are going to go without in the wrong way. It's just really frustrating. It really is. Although it's at the beginning of September and today is predicted to be another really, really hot day, we've suddenly had the last week or so a very hot spell. We're up into the 30s again now. Today they think is going to be the hottest day. But I'm already starting to think about winter, and I started this channel. I started it in I think it was about mid-December. So you haven't seen how I prep for winter. There's not a lot of prep that goes on, to be fair. I'm limited as to what I can do here because I'm in a rental property. So I can't do lots of things that I would like to do because it's not my property to start doing things with. But I do have some little things that I do just to help things along. And I started doing those last year and they really helped. So as we get closer to winter and as I start to put some of those into place, I'll show you what I do. It's not pretty, it's not glamorous, it's very frugal, but I think it probably helps to a certain degree. And it's temporary as well, because as soon as the weather starts to improve again, and I've really toughened up since I moved into my property here, and I've had to cut energy bills, but the sort of things that I'm doing most people wouldn't do, and yeah, it's not glamorous. But these headlines just, it exasperates you because there's nothing you can do about it, you know. You're stuck with it. You can't stop them putting the standing charges up. You can't stop them putting the energy prices up. And I think it's just disgraceful because these guys are making huge profits off of us. And we're the ones who are suffering, not them. I don't suppose the bosses of these energy companies are sitting in minus conditions. I don't suppose they're switching off all their lights every time they leave a room. I bet they're not. I'm sure they're able to pay their bills. And the price cap is a ridiculous notion anyway. It says they think it's going to push the price cap up to about $2,083. That isn't the maximum you will pay. I don't understand what it even means because you can easily end up paying more than that for your energy in a year. I know my parents, for a start, pay more than double that for their energy every year. So the price cap is a meaningless, ridiculous number because it's not like you get to £2,000 you spent for the year and you don't pay any more. You can easily pay a lot more than that. So, oh my goodness. Right, it's the same day, not much later than my last recording, and I've been out early to do a couple of errands because the temperatures are really going to rise today and I don't want to be out late. It's now only 10:30 and I'm back and it's really hot out there. I'm absolutely roasting. So another annoying thing that's happened is whilst I was away doing my clinical trial, they have closed the only bank left on my high street, which is so infuriating. It's not such a problem for people like me because pretty much all my banking now is digital. It's online, it's via apps. I very rarely deal with cash, and that's because I'm an online business, so I rarely see cash anymore. But if you don't have a smartphone, if you either don't have the internet or you're not very tech savvy, or for other reasons like you get paid in cash and you need to pay money into a bank, you are stuffed. We are a town of 40,000 people and there is now no bank left on the high street. So thanks Halifax, that's been really, really helpful. It means that if I get cash, I don't know what to do with it because I rarely use cash. Most of my shopping, like my food shop, is done via cashback apps and gift cards. So cash is difficult for me to use and get rid of. So this is really, really infuriating. My parents, for instance, don't have smartphones. My dad does online banking, but they don't do a lot of transactions in that way. So my dad tends to hoard cash in the house because they have no idea where they're going to get their next lot of cash. They don't even have an ATM in the town. And I wish they would stop squeezing out people who don't want to or can't embrace technology. This is exclusion. This is putting people into a corner where they either conform or they go without. And this is just getting out of hand. It's ridiculous. Just stop. Stop doing this to people. I don't know where my next nearest bank is. I think it's in the next town, which is almost 2 miles away, and it's a NatWest, and that's the only bank that they have there. And that town is bigger than mine. So I don't know. Maybe you're going to be getting on a bus or driving and going into Manchester, which is not a hop, skip and a jump. You know, that's a day trip out if you're using the bus. Just drives me nuts. Stop closing all the banks. I know that it's all about profit margins, and I know that it's about, you know, if you lose your footfall, what are we supposed to do? We do have a post office in town, which is clinging on to dear life, but it doesn't serve everybody everything. There was a lady in the at the counter in front of me in the post office this morning, and she was clearing out all the change that she'd accumulated in her house, and she had partial bags of change. And whereas if you went into the Halifax, you could hand that over and get some notes back or something, or pay it into your bank account, she can't do that in the post office. They wouldn't accept any of them because they were partial bags. So she's gone home with all her change. I don't know what she's going to do with it. Just spend it. But having cash now, they are pushing people out who want to use cash. I have a very small change bag where I'll keep £2 or £3 in loose change just in case. But you know, it rarely gets used, and I'll use it for very small purchases. Speaking of which, just to tip the balance on my annoyance today with things so far, I've had 2 good things happen. One is that I got this for free with Shopmium at the Co-op. There's a Co-op about 10-15 minute walk up the road. Don't usually find the deals in there. They're a very small shop. They don't have a great range, but I got lucky today. Look, that was an 85p Kit Kat chunky peanut butter, and I'm a sucker for peanut butter. So getting that one for free. Also at the end of my road is a cafe, small independent cafe, and they regularly have clear outs of stock that's reaching its use by date or is way past its use by date. Wow, that's got a long date on it. And they put a little table out the front and they stick on everything they want to get rid of rather than throw it away, and they give it a cheap price. So got this for 50p. It's Kellogg's. I mean, that's what, a £3 or £4 box of cereal. Cereal in the supermarkets now is stupidly overpriced. I don't know why anyone buys cereal anymore. It's just ridiculous. The other thing I got, these are great. 2 massive bags of baby plum tomatoes. Plum tomatoes are my favourite. They taste the best. 50p each. You would not get that in the supermarket. Tomatoes are rarely on yellow stickers, and when they are, it's never these. So I'm really pleased with this. So that has cheered me up, because it's been a frustrating morning of price rises and bank closures. Right, I'm going to go and open all the windows and start to air the flat, because it's going to be a really hot day today. Catch you later.